Right. Okay. Hmm. I might do another game at some point with... Another run through at some point with Jack. I don't know. We'll see. Is there another thing? I don't know. I probably could have investigated, but no, let's not.
What has the new shielding done to your power grid balance?
Not much. With built-in capacitor subsystems, they have a surprisingly low draw.
Doesn't that mean the shielding boost wouldn't last long under fire?
True. They're built for hard, fast strikes, not firefights of attrition.
Okay, so what he said and what Grunt said is go in, hit him, run away. I think we can do that, I hope.
Shepard, what can I do for you?
I want to talk about you.
Have you got time to talk?
For you? Of course. I can't tell you how much what you said means to me. But I understand if you need to find someone else. Not that I'm complaining if you're still interested. Are you still interested?
Oh, you sound so sad. Only if it's safe. We've already had this conversation before, haven't we?
I don't want to risk your health, but I'm willing to wait.
Thank you. I want you to see what's under this damn helmet. I need to feel your skin against mine. To share myself with you before we fly off into the final battle. I'll find a way.
Oh. Okay. Thing with Jack, I don't know.
Shepard, what can I do for you?
Investigate. What do you think of the Normandy?
How's the Normandy running?
Say what you will about Cerberus. They know how to build ships. The Normandy's running even better than before. I don't know if it can stand up to a collector attack, though. I'm researching some ideas that might help.
Okay. What's your work up to?
Is the new Normandy giving you any trouble?
Please, Shepard, I'm a Quarian. Give me a chunk of scrap metal, a circuit board, and some element zero, and I'll have it making precision jumps. I was worried about working with Cerberus engineers, but they know what they're doing, and they've been very polite.
Grand. Normandy upgrades.
Can you do anything to give the Normandy an edge over a collector
I
ship?
think she gave us the shielding, didn't
My
she?
shield fortification will help, but I don't think there is much more I can do.
Okay, thank you.
I'll let you work.
Talk to you later.
Bye, Tally. Right. Swim to everyone. Right. So... I'm going to... What am I going to do now? I think... So we've got a few codices, haven't we, that I've not read through. So we'll read through the ones that I've not read through. There's probably a lot of them I haven't read in a while. And then depending on what time it is, we might go on to the... do whatever the mission is. Right. Oh, the Ardat Yakshi. Demon of the Night Winds are Asari suffering from a genetic disorder preventing conventional melding of nervous systems during mating. Instead, Ardat Yakshi electrochemically ravage their partner's nervous systems, in extreme cases leaving victims as vegetative invalids or corpses. Asari psychologists regard this incapacity for mental fusion as preventing the development of empathy, leading to psychopathy. There is no known cure. The disorder generally begins in infancy, reaching full pathology during maiden adolescent sexual development, while seductive and sexually driven as other Asari. Ardat Yakshi are congenitally sterile. Ancient Asari mythology held Ardat Yakshi as gods of destruction, depicting them as villains of countless legends and as the anti-heroes of numerous Asari epics. Contrary to popular belief, Ardat Yakshi are neither extremely rare, around 1% of Asari dwell on the AY spectrum, nor are they all murderers. Most cultivate and discard countless exploitative or abusive relationships during their legally marginal lives. Despite rumours of Ardat Yakshi syndicates, by nature Ardat Yakshi are incapable of long-term cooperation. As a disproportionately wealthy species, Asari employ their economic reach and media ownership to hide the AY pathology from the galactic community, placing most Ardat Yakshi in monitored work programs or seclusion. Only the most aggressive cases are sentenced to sanitaria and prisons or to the execution lists of Justicars. Right, Justicars. Speaking of Justicars, despite the refinement and sophistication of Asari culture, criminality remains a fact of life. The Asari solution to the most vicious and destructive criminal elements is the Justicar Order. Justicars are an Asari class of virtually untouchable judicial executioners operating almost exclusively within Asari territory. In the last decade alone, Justicars have smashed dozens of criminal rings inside Asari territory, operated by Asari and non-Asari alike. Their methods range from subtle where possible to brutal where necessary. Trained for extreme strength, biotic capacity, resourcefulness, asceticism, and ruthlessness, the fanatical Justicars are romanticized and feared throughout Asari society. Although Justicars generally work alone, their effectiveness rises from the huge body of knowledge they can access. Any Asari who enters the ranks of Justicars has already spent centuries in a combination of criminal investigation, military intelligence, and combat experience. The collective body of Justicar knowledge exceeds even that of the Spectres. Justicars tend to be independent, requiring little help but also scorning it, since such advanced skill and experience usually travels with a powerful ego. The conflicts presented by such arrogance promoted the Justicar Order to develop the Oaths of Subsumation. The Oaths pledge protection of the innocent, the punishment of the guilty, and defense of common law and the norms of Asari society. The effect of the Oaths is conservative, ensuring that Justicars respect the existing distribution of Asari power rather than staging a coup to rearrange society according to Justicar satisfaction. Nevertheless, the possibility of such an attack is a source of anxiety and counterintelligence among the Asari elite. Of all the pledges, the third oath of subsumation is sworn the least of any of the oaths, requiring a Justicar to swear loyalty that overrides the dictates of even the Justicar Code. The third oath is usually invoked in matters where even the black or white thinking of Justicars is forced to concede the existence of grey. Right. Right, you're done. Non-cancel races. Ooh, that's a lot of you. No Yarg. I thought the Yarg would be non-council. Right. Drell biology. Drell are omnivorous reptile-like humanoids with an average lifespan of 85 galactic standard years. They give live birth to their young, who are capable of eating solid food from the moment they are born. Drell appearance is similar to Asari and humans, but their muscle tissue is slightly denser than that of humans, giving them a wiry strength. Many of their more reptilian features are concealed, like a three-chambered heart with a muscular ridge that is capable of shunting oxygenated or deoxygenated blood as needed. One unique characteristic, however, is the hyoid bone in their throats, which allows them to inflate their throats and produce vocal sounds outside of the human range. Would-be assassins have noted that these two features make Drell extremely hard to strangle or suffocate. Because the Drell ancestors emerged from arid, rocky deserts, the humid, ocean-covered Hanar world of Kage proved tolerable only when the Drell stayed inside a climate-controlled dome city. Due to this huge disparity in the two species' homeworld environments, the leading cause of death among Drells on Kage is a bacterial lung disease called Keprel syndrome. Within a generation of the Drell's arrival on the planet, the disease had become resistant to Hanar antibiotics and other advanced treatments. Once an infection settles in, death is slow but imminent. Transplants may buy time, but as the infection spreads to other major organs, there comes a point of diminishing returns and eventual system failure. Okay, Drell culture. 8 centuries ago, the already arid Drell world, Rakana, began its swift descent into lifelessness due to disastrous industrial expansion. Because their population was bursting at 11 billion and they did not possess interstellar flight capacity, the Drell would have been doomed without the intervention of the Hanar. Following first contact, the Hanar spent 10 years transporting 375,000 willing Drell to their own homeworld, Kage. The remaining billions perished in the dying world, warring against each other for diminishing sources of water and food. Today, only a few thousand survive on Rakana in clusters never exceeding a few hundred. Now a cemetery world, Rakana's population can double during pilgrimage season. Drell have been part of the galactic community for almost 2 centuries now. Most reside on Kage, content to coexist with the Hanar. Those who leave Kage tend to be adventurers, gifted by the Hanar with acute perception of interspecies body language. Solitary Drell travellers often seek out new species elsewhere, adopting that species culture and rarely returning to Kage. Such Drell number in the thousands and are scattered across the galaxy, tending towards quiet, integrated lives. On Kaje, the Hanar afforded the Drell every opportunity to thrive. While outsiders, and even some Hanar, regard the Drell as junior partners, if not actual servants, Drell have integrated themselves into every level of Hanar society as respected, productive citizens. We'll ignore arrival, planets and locations. The Migrant Fleet. Oh, thought I'd read this one. The Flotilla, or the Migrant Fleet, is a fleet of roughly 50,000 starships that houses over 17 million Quarians, the largest collection of starfaring vessels in the galaxy. The fleet is so large it may take days for all the ships to pass through a mass relay. The ships are constantly repaired, replaced, and upgraded to comfortably house as many Quarians as possible. Typically, ships specialize in roles for the fleet, from the enormous agricultural live ships to the shielded lab ships to the repurposed freighters known as home ships that house Quarian children, young parents, and educators. Employed Quarians typically live in the ship they work on, since commuting from ship to ship ties up resources with unnecessary docking procedures and wastes fuel. Even within the flotilla, Quarians on most ships will remain encased in their protective suits. Rarely, Quarians will meet on clean ships, for specific purposes such as medical services or reproduction. When this occurs, they remove their suits, knowing full well that it is likely they will spend a few days having allergic reactions or getting over infections as their weakened immune systems compensate for each other's presence. Okay, ships and vehicles. What do we have? Frigates. Frigates are light escorts and scouts, often possessing extensive Guardian systems, providing anti-fighter screening for capital ships, and crewed with a squad of Marines for security and groundside duty. Unlike larger vessels, frigates can land on planets. This is something we read in Mass Effect 1, wasn't it? Yeah, great battles in human history. Yep, I remember that. Because I forgot about the Normandy when I was reeling off battles. I remember. Right, Quarian live ships. There are a few wide open spaces in Quarian spacecrafts. Live ships are the exception. Each ship is a massive hydroponics facility, growing thousands of tons of genetically modified staple crops under artificial light and in highly enriched soil. The surface of a live ship is studded with docking bays, so as many shuttles as possible can distribute the foods throughout the flotilla on a daily basis. When received, the crops are sterilized with radiation, ground up into nutritious pastes, and pumped into Quarian suits through feeding tubes. In return, waste products that could be used as fertilizer or compost are returned to the live ships through an efficient, if odorous, recycling program. Live ships do not hold animals. The Quarians consume a vegan diet, driven not by ethics but by practicality. Captive animals require living space and consume large amounts of water and plant matter. The Quarians cannot afford such an efficient resource-to-calorie ratio, to say nothing of a live animal's disease or allergen potential. As a result, when the flotilla arrives in a star system where life is based on the same dextroamino acids that the Quarians consume, pastes based on animal proteins fetch highly inflated prices, and the vendors are typically mobbed by Quarians wanting a new taste sensation. The sickness that often follows these binges is treated much the same way as hangovers are in human culture, painful, but part of the overall experience of excess. Ooh, Javelin. The Javelin is experimental close assault weapon fitted on a handful of new Alliance warships. It consists of a rack of 2 or more disposable disruptor torpedo tubes bolted or magnetically slung onto the exterior of the ship's armoured hull. Firing on converging trajectories, the torpedoes detonate in a precisely timed sequence that allows the warhead's dark energy to resonate and thereby magnify the resulting space-time warp effects. More dark energy. Like fighter-launched torpedoes, Javelins are cold-launched for safety reasons, though they use a different approach. Resembling old-fashioned submarine torpedo tubes, Javelin torpedoes come packed in individual sealed tubes filled with compressed, inert gas. Opening the front of the tube causes escaping gases to push the torpedo into the vacuum, releasing a puff of crystals around the mouth of the tube. After completely clearing the tube, the torpedo ignites its thrusters. Javelin mounts are most often fitted on swift frigates, which enter knife-fight torpedo ranges as a matter of course. Javelins may also be fitted on heavier ships for short-range engagements, such as trans-relay assaults. Trans-relay assaults, okay. They are particularly useful in this role for dreadnoughts, which cannot lay their main guns on close-range targets. As missile weapons, javelins are subject to highly accurate defensive guardian fire. They must be launched in large numbers and at a short range to have any chance of hitting their target at all. And we've gone through all of those. Are there any primary ones? Should I? Ooh, a lot of primary things. Should I listen to him? Nope. Right. How long will the IFF be? I don't know. So, I've spoken to everyone, haven't I? Spoken to everyone? Jack's still kind of upset. I feel bad. I mean, this is the thing. Like, the game's kind of like in the previous game and in Dragon Age Origins, it's like, oh, you should talk to everyone loads of times and you will get side missions and blah 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 blah. And now I'm doing that and I'm finding information out. It's like, oh, you want to romance with Jack? No. Why does the game keep trying to pair me up with two people? It did it in the first game. Oh, you want to be with Liara and Ashley? Like, yeah. Do you want to be with Jack and Tally? No, I want to be with Tally. Yeah. I mean, maybe I'll play through this again. I'm not sure if I'd let's play it again. I'm not sure if there'd be any interest in that. I might do a Jack romance if I played through this series again. I don't know. Right, so yes, we've kind of done everything I wanted to do. We've spoken to everyone. Apparently the crew's all sorted, the ship's all ready, so next time, I think I will cut it here. Next time, I'm gonna assume we're not at the Citadel. I said we're not at the Citadel. I have to go here, don't I? Next time, the Hawking Eater Cluster to acquire Reaper IFF. Eep. Thanks for watching, everyone. Thanks for watching.